Hey, what's up guys? Hope you're doing well today. I want to go over a little project I've been working on recently, and this project was inspired by Adam Schmisek's Black Sails video. Let me play that for you really quick. So I saw this video from Adam, and it has this skull, and the skull sort of peels off organically. I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to replicate it and see if I could pull this off. So this video is going to be sort of my thought process of trying to achieve this effect, and then you can maybe learn from a couple of my mistakes as well. So the first thing that I thought of when I saw that was, why don't we use a vertex map to animate across this skull and then use cloth with that vertex map to peel away the skull. So first of all, we have to figure out how to make an animated vertex map. So that'll be your first tip for the day. We're going to go ahead and go to our polygon mode, and we're going to click on one of these guys and hit Command A to make sure that they're all selected, and then we're going to hit V, select, and set vertex weight. And we have this little value here. So what we're going to want to use is Pose Morph to make two different poses for this vertex map. So one of these vertex maps, we're going to have the value at 0, so we'll hit OK. So the whole thing has a value of 0. And now we're going to add a Pose Morph. And if you haven't used a Pose Morph, you just right click, go to Character Tags, and go to Pose Morph. And Pose Morphs, they are really handy in character animation, but they're also very useful in MoGraph too. So what Pose Morph does is it captures different states of your animation, and then you can animate between those two really easy with a slider. So you have all of these different options. What we're going to be using is maps for the vertex maps. So we'll click that on, and it's going to add that vertex map pose already. So we're going to go back to our vertex map. We're going to click V again, and we're going to go to select, set vertex weight, and this time we're going to have a 100% value. Then if we go back to our Pose Morph, and if we go to the little animate button, let's click on the lock tab and then click back on our vertex map. And now if we animate the slider, you can see that we can animate our vertex map, which is really great. But we want fall off so that we can have this vertex map sort of wiping on the skull, right? So what we're going to use is actually Deformer, and all the deformers have fall off, so we just have to get a deformer to talk to this this Pose Morph tag. So we're going to use this Morph Deformer, and we'll put that guy inside of our skull. And remember that we have that Pose Morph tag locked, so we got to unlock that guy, click on our Morph Deformer, and you can see that in the morph slot we already have our Pose Morph tag. That's this guy, just dragged right into there, it did it automatically. So now what we have is the ability to use fall off, which is fantastic. So if we change the fall off to linear, let's go ahead and lock that guy again and click on our vertex map. Now you can see that we have fall off on our vertex map, which is awesome, because now we can just take that Morph Deformer and we can just animate that guy on and off. We can play with the different size and scale of our fall off. So this already is a really handy tip. If you guys ever need to do animated vertex maps using the Pose Morph tool and using the Morph Deformer, that's a really cool way to animate your vertex maps. So at this point in the animation, I thought I could use cloth and the animated vertex map to drive that cloth just to kind of peel across the skull. Well, I ran into a lot of problems and I couldn't quite get it to work. I did find this really great tutorial. This one's called Weight Map Propagation by Krotmonster. And if you watch this, he actually goes into some Python coding to animate the vertex maps across. And you can see he has a few different Python tags on here. And the end result is that he does use cloth, and he uses cloth to peel across using the vertex maps, and you get this really cool tearing effect. So this is one way that you could do that. I'll link this up. There's actually a download project file so you can kind of investigate how he did this. So that's one really cool way that you could do it, sort of going down the vein that I was going down. So I actually reached out to Adam to see how he did it. I was curious if he used vertex maps or not, and it turns out that I was making things way too complicated and he didn't use them at all. He went the easy route, and this is what he did. He put in an attractor set to a negative value, and he literally just keyframed the attractor across the skull. So you can see that it's sort of wiping across the skull, and as it does, the cloth is tearing. So I was thinking, hey, we need something to wipe across the skull, and I didn't really even think about using a tractor with fall off and just moving it. Let this be a lesson to you. There's always more than one way to do things in Cinema 4D, and sometimes getting creative and doing things the hard way is the good way, but a lot of times there is an easier way if you just think through it creatively. So a tractor, it has fall off. That's all you really need. Just animate that guy across, and as the power of the attractor hits the mesh, it'll start peeling away. So it gives you the exact same effect. So that's it for the tutorial. It's kind of a strange one. It's a little tip on animating vertex maps, and then also sort of why you don't even need to. So anyway, I hope that you guys found something useful from this. Thanks for checking out the Pixel Lab. We'll talk to you next time.